man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What is up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another bonus video. This will be the August movie reviews of the movies that I watched during August. I will have a couple that I won't have to show since we watched my buddy's copy, and then I also watched one movie in the movie theater. Before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback down below, do all that good stuff. I'll leave the links to my Instagram, my Facebook selling page, the Hodgepodge Garage, which will have non-media items. I still haven't got that going as well as I would like to, but hopefully here soon I'll get some stuff on there. And then my Physical Media Man Facebook page is along with the Physical Media Man store, which is one combined page, so make sure to go over there and like and follow that. My Film Aficionado page, where you can see my wish list, as well as not an up-to-date but getting there movie collection, and my Twitter, which I haven't got a lot on there yet either, but I'll leave all the links to that down below. I did make my first Physical Media Man sale, not on eBay. Shout out to Movie Edge. I'll leave the link to his channel. He also has a YouTube channel. I didn't see it in his monthly review or monthly overview of what he purchased for the month of August, so it might be on next month's. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him about that. But I'll leave the link to his page, and I might ask him if I just overlooked it. But whenever he posts that, I'll leave the link to that too down below. So thanks so much for reaching out to me. If anybody else sees any items for sale that I say are for sale that they're interested in that I haven't got posted yet, just let me know. I am going to make a Physical Media Man store Instagram page and hopefully get the rest of the movies that I'm trying to sell on there, because I do have quite a few. And I'll also leave the link to my movies for sale video that I shot a few weeks ago. So I'm just going to get started here. The first movie we watched in the month of August was RoboCop 2. Obviously the second one out of 3 originals. This one still had the main guy playing RoboCop, who was pretty good. I thought he did a good job. It also had his partner, and she was good in it too. Different bad guy. Some of the other people returned as well. This movie was better than I thought it was going to be. I really enjoyed the first one. This one was pretty good too, which kind of makes me leery of the third one. So the premise of this one was, this is after the first one obviously, and the company that made RoboCop tried to make, it's basically RoboCop without it being an actual person. And then that thing kind of goes haywire, and RoboCop has to try to stop it. And there's also some bad people. There's this drug that this guy's selling, and he's the bad guy too. There's quite a bit going on in it, but overall I thought it was a very good movie. I'd probably give it a B-. So yeah, I enjoyed RoboCop 2. Hopefully watch RoboCop 3 and get this put away. I have the remake or readaptation of the one with Joel Edgerton or something like that. It's got Gary Oldman in it. I watched it in the theater and thought it was pretty good, so looking forward to going back and rewatching that now that I've watched the originals. Next up is Silkwood. This is a Kino Lorber release. This is based on a true story. It's got Meryl Streep, Kurt Russell, and Cher in it. So great cast. Bought it for Kurt Russell in my Kurt Russell collection. It's about this. So they all 3 work at a factory that is dealing with radiation. And they all have different jobs so it affects each of them differently, and there's some problems that arise, and it's hard to explain much more without saying anything else. But some problems arise with the radiation and how it's affecting the workers, and Meryl Streep kind of joins or is part of the union board and tries to get things figured out. But yeah, it's based on a true story. Something mysterious happens towards the end of the film, but it was boring at times, but it was a pretty good movie. I don't know, the rewatchability is not really there at all. I would give it a C+ at best. So, but cool to add to the Kurt Russell collection, that's for sure. Next up, we watched The Paperboy. This is starring John Cusack, Zac Efron, Matthew McConaughey, Nicole Kidman, and I think maybe that's his name. Yeah, David Oyelowo. That was bad. David Oyelowo. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. He's the guy that played Martin Luther King in Selma, and he's a pretty good actor. He's also in this. And this really surprised me. I still wouldn't say it was that great of a movie, but I was always embarrassed to buy it because I thought it kind of was a chick flick with Zac Efron. But I bought this mainly for my Matthew McConaughey collection, but I also have a John Cusack collection going. I've kind of upped the ante on that recently and got a lot of his movies. But this one, I had no idea what it was about. And so basically, Matthew McConaughey is a writer. John Cusack is in jail, and he's trying to get him out. I think he might be his lawyer too. Something. Oh no. I'll just read it. How about that? A sexually and racially charged film noir from Oscar-nominated director Lee Daniels. The Paperboy takes audiences deep into the backwaters of steamy 1960s South Florida as investigative reporter Ward Jensen, played by Matthew McConaughey, and his partner Yardley Akeem, that's played by that David character, or person, chase a sensational career-making story with the help of Ward's younger brother Jack, played by Zac Efron, and sultry death row groupie Charlotte Bless, played by Nicole Kidman. The pair tries to prove violent swamp dweller Hilary Van Welter, played by John Cusack, was framed for the murder of a corrupt local sheriff. So I thought all the performances were very good. This was just a very disturbing, violent, weird movie. I'd probably give it at best a B- at least. Probably closer to the C+ range. Rewatchability also not really there, but it's definitely worth a watch one time, I'd say, but I don't know. I didn't really care for it too much. Next up, the same night, we watched Three Men and a Baby. This is starring Ted Danson, Steve Guttenberg, and Tom Selleck. And this one is directed by Leonard Nimoy, who's Spock. Live long and prosper. And this is about, they're three bachelors. They live in an apartment together. Tom Selleck is an architect. Steve Guttenberg is like a artist. He draws like comics and things like that. And Ted Danson is an actor. So they're all very successful individuals. And they're living the bachelor life, not dating anybody. They have all these big parties. But one day, they get a knock on the door and someone leaves this baby. And it happens to be Ted Danson is the father. And Ted Danson is away when this happens. And so Tom Selleck and Steve Guttenberg try to help raise the baby, and they have no idea what they're doing. So it's funny, and then Ted Danson comes back and he helps, and this is a very enjoyable movie. I really enjoyed it and would watch it again for sure. I would definitely give it a solid B. And then, so we watched this from August 5th through August 26th. This is a TV miniseries, American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. This was really good. I was less than 10 years old, I believe, when the O.J. trial was happening. I vaguely remember it being a huge sports fan and how big of a deal it was at the time, and I guess still is. Excuse me, but I didn't really know what all went into the case and how much it affected the lawyers and everyone involved. So this has Cuba Gooding Jr. playing O.J. Simpson, John Travolta hilariously playing Bob Shapiro, and Nathan Lane is also playing one of the lawyers. I'm not sure who played Johnny Cochran. Somebody else. Oh, and Robert Scheimer, however you pronounce his name, or not Robert, David Schwimmer from Friends. He plays Robert Kardashian. And this is just an in-depth look at the case. From what I've read, it's very accurate with what everything went on. So I thought I learned a lot. I mean, obviously take it for what it is since it is a mini-series. But I thought it was so good. The acting was superb. They did a great job of telling the story of the trial and how it affected these lawyers and the jury and everyone involved. I do kind of want to go back because I know all of it was televised. So some people were saying they went back and watched it and it's like spot on with how the trial went and everything. So if you haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend it. I would give it at least an A, maybe even an A+. It was that good. It is kind of comparable to the Unsolved, the story of Tupac and Biggie. Just at how, of course, that's quite a bit different because it's a trial. This is a trial, and that was unsolved. But it's just they're both great looks into, and of course that's more. This is a lot more accurate, I believe, and of course the other one wasn't solved, but they're pretty comparable in how they were done and shot and how they had very good actors, and this one had a better cast for sure. But I love this. I would highly recommend it. It's a great show. Next up, we watched the second of the Three Men movies. This is Three Men and a Little Lady. So this is with an older baby. But Ted Danson, Steve Guttenberg, and Tom Selleck are all back. And this is when she's older, obviously, and her mom comes back into the picture more. And I won't say much more on that because I don't really want to ruin too much, but this one is just as good as the first one. And I'd also give this a B at least, maybe even a B+. They're both great. Leonard Nimoy did not come back on this one, but the rest of the cast is there, and it is very good. Next up is one that my wife enjoyed and I did not care for at all. We got Mamma Mia, the movie. I haven't watched a ton of musicals, but I do enjoy them if they're done well. And this one I just did not care for. Of course, I've said it before. Sometimes she doesn't seem too bad, but Meryl Streep I'm not a big fan. I bought this obviously for the Pierce Brosnan collection I have. I really enjoy him in almost all the movies he's in. He's a very good actor. But this also has Stellan Skarsgård, Colin Firth, Julia Walters, Amanda Seyfried, however you pronounce her name. It's in a lot of stuff recently. Dominic Cooper and Christina Baranski. But there's basically a group of 3 older girls and 3 older gentlemen, Pierce, Colin Firth, and Stellan Skarsgård. I really enjoyed whenever they were on the screen. I thought the story wasn't developed as well as I'd like. I will watch the second one here at some point. I just did not care for this at all. I would give it at best a C, maybe a C minus. Next up was one we were both surprised by, and we both really enjoyed. We got Super 8. This basically is a no-name cast. It does have Kyle Chandler, who's been in like Friday Night Lights and other movies, but this was written and directed by J.J. Abrams, and it's about this group of kids that are making a movie, and they witness this train wreck, and something else happens, and then all these military people come, and they're trying to evacuate the town that they live in, and there's quite a bit going on here. I don't want to spoil anything, but I would give this movie an A minus. The rewatchability is there too. I really enjoyed this one. It really surprised me. So if you haven't seen this, I highly suggest checking it out. Next up is one I'm still not, I mean, it was good, but not great. We got Flatliners. Great cast: Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Oliver Platt, who I normally enjoy in movies, and we also got one of the Baldwins, William Baldwin. And this was directed by Joel Schumacher. This is right around Batman Forever, I believe, and you can really tell it's him from his style of shooting. Kiefer Sutherland and Julia Roberts, I don't know if they were at the time the movie started, but at least during filming and after, they were dating, and they actually ended up getting engaged but didn't get married, I believe. Purchased one from Cinema Sickness. It's a Mill Creek release. It's about this group of medical students that find a way to they lower their heart rate, or not lower their heart rate. They basically kill themselves, or they do something to actually die, and then the other people, the other medical students, this group here, they stay dead for, they all try to do different times, like 2 minutes or whatever. Then the group brings them back to life because they want to see what the afterlife is like. I won't get into much more than that. It just got remade, and I don't know how it would have been. It seems like a really silly remake, and the cast didn't seem near as good as this cast, so I'm sure I'll check that out at some point, but I don't have a huge desire. It was good at times, but just kind of, I don't know. I was disappointed in it. I'd give it a C. Next up was another one that kind of surprised me this month. It's Dreamer. This is inspired by a true story starring Kurt Russell and Dakota Fanning. It's about Kurt Russell is a horse trainer, and then his daughter lives on their farm, obviously. They live together. It also stars Chris Christopherson and Freddie Rodriguez, Luis Guzman, and Elizabeth Shue as Kurt Russell's wife. Freddie Rodriguez and Luis Guzman work with Kurt Russell on the horse, and he's working for this other, not farm, but he's working for someone else, and something happens to this horse, and he gets fired, and he ends up buying the horse, and they try to train it to make some money. I won't go into much more than that. It's inspired by a true story. I kind of looked into it. I mean, they kind of used it. I mean, it wasn't, these people don't exist, and I don't think the horse exists, or I know the horse doesn't exist, but it's a very good sports, family-friendly movie. I'd give it a B. I paid $1 for it. Great to pick up and add to the Kurt Russell collection. That same day, I also started Batman Beyond, the complete first season. I have all 3 of these seasons. I watched this when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't really remember it too well. So I was really excited to go back and watch it, and I really enjoyed this first season. I'm looking forward to watching the next 2. This is about, it's an old Bruce Wayne. He had made this suit, which I always thought the suit was so cool. And somehow this Terry McGinnis finds out or sees the suit, and he becomes Batman, and Bruce Wayne helps him. And they have kind of a similar story. I won't go too much into that. The bad guys are good. Kevin Conroy is back from the animated series to voice Bruce Wayne, which is awesome. And this is just a very enjoyable show. 20-minute episodes. I watch it during lunch. It's perfect. So I'm looking forward to watching the rest of that. I give it a solid B+. Next up, we watched 3 movies this night. First, we watched Blockers, which my buddy Cody, shout out to him, came over and watched the movies with us. We watched Blockers first with John Cena, Leslie Mann. The other people are hilarious. I'm not really sure their names. About this group of parents, their children are going to prom, and they find out they're all. So they have 3 daughters, or they each have a daughter, and they find out that they were having a pact to all have sex for the first time on prom night. So they try to stop them. And it's hilarious. Very funny movie. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It was a lot more funny than I thought it was going to be. I would give it a solid B+. Great movie. Then we watched The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan. I don't think anybody else is really. Those are the main people. Jackie Chan's daughter gets killed in a bombing, and it's tied to the IRA in Ireland. And Pierce Brosnan used to be in the IRA, and he has somehow he works in the government. So Jackie Chan tries to get him to tell him who caused this bombing. He wants vengeance, and it's basically him trying to uncover who did this and trying to kill them, basically, or make them pay or go to jail, whatever. And it was a very, very good film, on the edge of your seat the whole time. I thought Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan both did a great job, especially Jackie Chan in this one. Very good film. Give it a B as well. Next up, which I had been wanting. Oh, sorry. Forgot. We watched one more of my buddy's movies, Blowout, with John Travolta. He had the Criterion Collection release. This is not posted yet. You'll see this the following week if you watched all my videos. I just picked up the DVD copy of it for $2.50 at the Labor Day sale of Disc Replay, Blowout on DVD. But he had the Criterion edition on Blu-ray. We watched it. It's about John Travolta. He's a sound guy with films. Like, he'll put in the like owls in the background and all sorts of that type of thing. So he's out one night on this bridge trying to pick up sound effects, and he's got his microphone out, and he witnesses this wreck where a tire blows out, and he thinks it's something more than that. So he becomes obsessive with this. He thinks there's something more to it than just a normal blowout, because this person that had a lot of power, he dies in the wreck and drowns. John Travolta actually goes in, because the car goes into some sort of water, or a lake or a creek or whatever, and he goes in and there's another person in the car, and he saves her. I'm not going to go into much more than that, but he gets obsessive about this, and this one also keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time, and you don't know what's going to happen. I'd give it a solid A-. Great movie. Then next up, we watched, so that was all one night. This is a different night. We watched Kubo and the Two Strings, my wife and I. Matthew McConaughey has a voice. Charlize Theron. I know I'm saying her name wrong again. But this is put out by animation studio Lakai. I think I said that wrong too. But they're the people that did Coraline and Box Trolls and something else. And this movie was awesome. I'll read some of it because I don't know how to explain it without ruining anything. It's an epic original action adventure featuring those voices I said. Kubo mesmerizes the people in his village with his magical gift for spinning wild tales with origami. When he accidentally summons an evil spirit seeking vengeance, Kubo is forced to go on a quest to solve the mystery of his fallen samurai father and his mystical weaponry, as well as discover his own magical powers. I don't really know what else to say, but I absolutely adored this movie. I'd give it a solid A. Highly recommend watching it. I really love animated movies. It was a very good one. Next up is, we went and watched Mission Impossible Fallout in movie theater. Definitely enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as good as the last one. The action sequences were great. It just kind of is very good. About what you would expect. I would give it a B plus, B, maybe closer to B, in between B plus and B though. Everyone is back for it. Tom Cruise did a great job as always. The cast was great. I thought Henry Cavill, however you pronounce his name, Superman, he was very good in it too. Good movie. So then next up we watched When the Game Stands Tall, based on the true story of a team in De La Salle in California. They set the record for, I don't know if it was a record, but they had a 150 game winning streak. I think that would be a record, yeah. Shattered all records. But it's got Jim Caviezel in it, based on the true story. One of the characters at least is made up, maybe a few. But this is a very inspiring movie. Caviezel has some problems that arise, but he's a great teacher of men, and it kind of goes into what these players face and how the reason that they were so successful wasn't just because of the talent of the players, but how they came together and what they focus on. But this is a very good sports movie. I highly recommend it. I'd give it a B as well. Giving a lot of B's today. So, next up, we got a season inside Notre Dame football. I'm a big Notre Dame football fan. I just went to the Notre Dame-Michigan game this weekend. So this was getting me pumped up for the game, and boy was I pumped up. This was kind of an in-depth look of the 2000 season that ended with Notre Dame getting walloped by LSU in the bowl game. But I was in high school during this time, and this year and the year before, this group of seniors were so fun to watch. You got Brady Quinn, Jeff Samardzija, Tom Zbikowski, Walker, drawing a blank. Darius Walker? There he is. And Rhea McKnight at receiver. I mean, they were just a great group, coached by Charlie Weiss. But I thought this was really well done. They kind of went over each game and the highlights of it and leading up to it. And they also talked to Charlie and some of the players. And then it also went into in-depth look at how the ushers' lives are. And they also showed some random fans. So I thought this was really well done. I'm not going to give it a rating, but if you're a Notre Dame football fan, I highly recommend checking it out. And last but not least, sorry we're at 30 minutes already, we got one that my wife and I were both not thrilled with or enjoyed. We almost quit watching it. We got Hurly Burly. I know a lot of people, at least, so it only got, I think, a 5.8 on IMDb, but a lot of people gave it great reviews, and I don't get it. I didn't enjoy it at all. You got Sean Penn, Kevin Spacey, Robert Wright Penn, Chaz Palminteri, Gary Shandling, and Meg Ryan. Sean Penn and Kevin Spacey both like work for some sort of filming agency where they do castings and try to get people for movie roles, and then that Chaz is an actor. But that's basically all you see of them working their jobs. The rest is they're at Sean Penn's doing drugs and getting into debates. They both like the same girl. I don't know. There's a point to it. I guess this was based on a play. I mean, people really enjoyed it. There's really no point to it, unless it's over my head. It was just so boring. I mean, I thought Sean Penn did a good job of being a crazy person, but I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I would give it a C minus. I don't know. I know a lot of people like it, so sorry if you liked it, but it just was not for me. So here's all we watched, plus 4 movies that I don't have like a copy of to show you, but quite a bit of movies for the month of August. Hopefully, there was some good stuff in there, but yeah, I would say, let's do this. I would say my favorites were The People vs. O.J. Simpson, The 3 Men and a Little Lady Baby. Both of those were great. Super 8, Dreamer, Blockers, Blowout, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Mission Impossible. Really enjoyed those. So yeah, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of this. This is the second time I've done this. I'm not as good as a lot of people on here that do this, so hopefully I'll get better at it. But those are my thoughts on what we watched during the month of August, and hope I have a good month of September movie watching, and hope you guys do too. So this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man.